Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, colleagues, and fellow advocates for a brighter future for Africa and for the entire world. Thank you for the opportunity to join you today, even if virtually, in this nuclear forum, a very important official side event in the Africa Energy in Dava conference. Thank you to my friend Des Muller for his kind invitation. For the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen an increased interest and recognition of nuclear energy, partly due to the recent energy crisis and also partly due to purely practical reasons, as many countries realized that their energy policies did not bring them anywhere close to meeting Paris Agreement commitments. In other words, the talk do gap became glaringly obvious. But COP28 in December 2023 in Dubai was truly a watershed moment for nuclear power. Nuclear energy took center stage as a principal agent to combat climate change in a cost effective and equitable manner and to help the world to move towards net zero. At the first global stocktake, 199 countries, essentially all the participants at COP28, declared unanimously that nuclear energy is one of the technologies that needs to be accelerated to meet net zero by 2050. Also at COP28, 25 countries in 4 continents joined in a ministerial declaration calling for the tripling of global nuclear capacity by 2050. At the December 2nd ceremony, high-level dignitaries, including 8 heads of state, such as President Macron and Special Envoy John Kerry, boldly stated their commitment to make this goal a reality through the enactment of ambitious energy and industrial policies and through the collaboration with the World Bank, multilateral development banks, and the global finance community. On our side, the industry accepted the challenge, and a few days later, during the first ever COP presidency event dedicated to nuclear energy, I had the honor and the pleasure to launch the Net Zero Industry Pledge that was endorsed by 120 companies headquartered in 25 countries and active in over 140 nations worldwide. And this pledge matched the ambition and the pragmatism of the 25 governments. And we also committed to triple global nuclear capacity by 2050. Clearly, this is a challenging aspirational goal for sure. And there is a need to move forward rapidly to take full advantage of the enabling environment promised by the countries, the governments of all these countries. And certainly it is going to require a lot of work and alignment between governments and industry. Now, what does this mean for Africa? COP28 calls for a transitioning away from fossil fuels and in energy systems in a just, orderly, and equitable manner, accelerating action in this critical decade and in a way to achieve net zero by 2050 in keeping with the science. I think we all know that Africa is rich, indeed, very, very rich in all kinds of energy resources: oil, gas, coal, critical minerals, uranium, sun, wind. Utilizing these abundant resources to energize the continent in a way that results in all around societal development, both local and pan African, is truly the best road that serves the continent in the best manner. And frankly, I have heard many African leaders that have said that Africa believes in addressing climate change, but Africa does not believe in being clean in the dark. So I really think that nuclear is very well placed to facilitate a just energy transition in which Africa leapfrogs from today's lack of energy to a modern, diverse, and clean energy system that makes the most of Africa's resources for Africa's benefits. I think that the benefits of nuclear energy across the entire socioeconomic and human development spectrum are well documented and certainly widely recognized. Nuclear investments give high returns. For each $1 invested, it results into $4 or $4.50 to GDP growth. So we also have nuclear power plants that work for a very long time. So the long life of these nuclear power plants and the abundant, affordable, 24/7 clean energy that they provide results in stable returns on the investment for a really long time and long-term high-paying jobs and a catalyst for additional industry and innovation to thrive. Frankly, with the availability of large, small, and very small microreactors from many vendors, optimal solutions are available for grids of many different sizes to decarbonize mining and fossil fuel extraction, as well as the petrochemical industry, among others. Now, to implement a nuclear power program in the continent at the speed and the scale that is needed, one should not really gloss over the many challenges. Finance, of course, remains a key issue. However, acceptance of nuclear as a green energy source is a big step, and certainly the engagement of governments with the World Bank and multilateral development banks should really help. Infrastructure and human resource development also remain important challenges that need to be addressed expeditiously. Energy policies that include nuclear energy and electricity markets that recognize the value of 24/7 generation and, very importantly, that incentivize long-term planning and investment are very important also. Industrial policies that support the fast growth of nuclear capabilities and supply chain to deliver new projects all over Africa and certainly the entire world, and also optimize licensing and regulatory frameworks that are going to allow us to accelerate the way in which we deploy all these reactors. All in all, there is a lot of work to do, not only in Africa, but frankly, in the entire world. But for the first time in a long time, nuclear energy has positive visibility. We think that really government and industry should work together strategically to deliver on all these promises and these very high expectations. Today, several countries in Africa, notably South Africa and Egypt, already have considerable experience in the nuclear sector. And enhance international cooperation, taking into account lessons learned and using established good practices can facilitate the acceleration of the nuclear program in Africa. On our hands, World Nuclear Association, as you know, is the international organization that represents the global worldwide nuclear industry. We have more than 200 members in all continents, including 5 countries in Africa. And World Nuclear Association is the only organization with a global mandate to promote nuclear energy and to represent the companies that constitute the global nuclear industry. Currently, we work with several organizations in the UN system and also with many other international organizations, including, of course, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the African Union, AFCONE, and the African Energy Chamber. And our members bring a wealth of practical, real experience in all aspects of nuclear power, and we are keen and looking forward to share this experience with all new players in Europe. World Nuclear Association will continue to work with our partners to bring nuclear as an essential piece of a just and equitable energy transition in Africa, providing abundant, affordable, 24/7 clean energy for all Africans. The association is fully committed to facilitate the emergence of a nuclear power Africa. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a very fruitful nuclear forum and very, very enjoyable Africa Energy in Davao conference. Thank you.